Good afternoon. I said good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Very nice. I want to see the energy here. It's afternoon, so what? You had lunch, no?
Yes.
Very nice. All wide awake?
Yes.
Very nice. So, we'll go on to rule 15 now. Crossing. Right? As it says, crossing situation. Please do the honors for rule 15, one of you.
Rule 15, crossing situation. When two power-driven vessels are crossing so as to involve risk of collision, the vessel which has the other on a starboard side shall keep out of the way and shall, if the circumstances of the case admit, avoid crossing ahead of the other vessel.
Right? So, very simple, two lines rule, nothing very big. But remember, we have defined what is head-on. We have defined what is overtaking. There is no specific definition for crossing as such. So anything, if I look at it like this was, we said 3 degrees either side for head-on. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yes, very nice. And we said more than 22.5 above the beam. This is overtaking. This is head-on. So the remaining sector is
Crossing.
Right, both sides, this would be the sector for crossing vessels. Concentrating more on the starboard side because it says the vessel which has the other on the starboard shall keep out of the way. And if circumstances the case admit, avoid crossing ahead of the other vessel. So let us see the practical application of this in 2-3 things. One, let us say you are heading like this. This is your own ship A. You got a ship here which is ship B. Let's say typically crossing situation. CPA 0 or near 0. Right? And at what distance should you take action? In open sea, 8 miles. So 8 miles in open sea you want to take action. Now I'll use courses again, your own course 000. This vessel will be something like 230, let's say 225, 230, somewhere there, right? And this bearing of this vessel (35 degrees on the starboard), right? Which is 35 degrees on your starboard. Coming on 230, you are going 000, distance 8 miles. You said you want to take action. I accept your word. How much should you alter? Should you alter or should you reduce speed? That is another option you have. Alter course because sufficient serum available, and rule 8 says alteration is the first preferred action. Right? So how many degrees do you want to alter?
35 degrees plus
30, 35, 38, 45 to 50, 38. How did you get 38?
35 plus
One at a time, please. One at a time.
35 degrees plus 3 degrees more for
Why?
alteration.
3 degrees why? For?
So that he can see both the side legs of the vessel.
So that you can see both the sides. Yes, you said something.
So we head to the stern of the...
Head to the stern of the other vessel. Any other options?
I can keep a stern on the 1.4.
Keep stern on 1 point port bow.
So I will alter such that it will be apparent to the other vessel. Large alteration.
Let's talk in figures. Yes, rules keep saying large alteration apparent to the other vessel. So considering all that, you have to come to a figure, because remember one simple thing. When you are standing on the bridge, you can't tell the helmsman alter large to be readily apparent. You have to give him a course, isn't it? An alteration you have to give. Right? So gentlemen, easy. Let's not make this into a noisy class. Right? One at a time, everybody gets to speak, you know that. Yeah, any other suggestions? Head towards the vessel, towards the stern of the vessel, same thing, almost the same thing. It will be bearing wise, maybe 1 degree difference or something. Now, in my opinion, you should alter reciprocal of this course. What is reciprocal of 230?
050.
050. You should come to 050. Why? Because you are on his reciprocal parallel course, right? You will clear the situation fastest. The two speeds will add up. If both of you are doing 15 knots, let us say, as you have been saying, 15 knots here, 15 knots here, right? Once you come on the parallel and opposite courses, speed will add up 30 knots, 2 minutes to a mile. Although this distance was 8, but when you altered and you pass parallel, you may pass only 4 miles or 5 miles, depending on different situations. How far you take action, where, when, what, all that will make a difference, right? So if you have to cross, let's say roughly, even if you take it as 8 miles, it will be a maximum of 16 minutes. Too large. By the time you alter and settle down, come back, it will be much less than that.
So,
Yeah.
so we can also say like we will alter such that the other vessel will be able to see only of our side.
Yeah, I'll come to that aspect. Very right. That was the next thing coming in. So you are literally snatching words from my mouth, but that's good. See, ideally, if you can't alter by this or you don't want to for whatever reasons, if this bearing is 35, I would say minimum alteration of 40 degrees, so that initially he is seeing your starboard light. As soon as he starts seeing your port side light, he is happy and he knows that you have taken action. If you alter, let's say 30 degrees, he was seeing your starboard light, he is still seeing your starboard light. This is not good seamanship. This is not a good seamanship practice, because if he is still seeing your starboard light, though you have altered, is it readily apparent to him? So to be readily apparent, you will say at least 35 so that you start heading for him. But when you are heading for him, he is seeing both your side lights. And if he is seeing both your side lights, then again not a very happy scenario, not a very happy situation. So ideally, minimum 40 degrees so that he can see your port side light. He was seeing starboard side initially, now he sees the port side. So is that clear? Why? Ideally 50, because that is parallel and opposite courses. Clear so far?
Yes.
Now you must have noticed, and some of you may have even done it, as soon as the bearing keeps changing, you find people start coming back. This bearing, moment you altered off, this bearing which was 35, let's say it becomes 25. People will come back to 30. It becomes 15, people come back to 20. My question is, why do you want to do that? And what are you going to save by doing that? So long as you keep showing him your red light till he clears you, nothing wrong. Agreed. But what is the idea of doing that? And in fact, that is keeping you busy here. You are not likely to see other things. And remember, the term situational awareness means being aware of everything happening around you. So if there are some other ships, some other traffic, or if you want to take a position or something, you need to get away from this. So there's no point in altering and after 2 minutes again come back 10 degrees, after 2 minutes another 10 degrees. It doesn't make sense. Might as well continue on 050 or 040, whatever you come to. Let her clear your bearing of 000 degrees, your course. Once he comes to, let's say, 355 or something, come back on your course. In this 2 or 3 minutes which you come back to your course, later, let's say 2 minutes later, vis-a-vis coming back every 10 degrees, how much distance are you going to lose? Or how much fuel extra will be consumed? Or what is the reason? I would like to know what is the logic for coming back every 10 degrees. Why not one go alter by 40 or 50 degrees? She's clear your course of 000, she's come to 355. Alter back in one go straight away back to 000. Is that a problem? Is that a problem?
No.
No. Then why? Have you seen this happening? coming back 10 degrees?
Yes, sir.
Why? Not required. Right? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The next option, of course, is in case you can't alter, you can reduce speed. Right? But could you alter course to port? No, you should not alter course to port.
Yes, bro.
Because if you alter to port, you will end up passing ahead. In this case, mind you, it is case to case. There will be a case where you can alter to port. So let us look at that example now. Let's say you are going here, again 0, 0, 0, and let us say you got a vessel which is somewhere here, and this angle is 20 degrees above the beam. So what situation is it? Overtaking or crossing?
Crossing.
Very clearly crossing.
Yes.
Right. Now, if you look at this, you will straight away come to the conclusion that the ship B in this case is faster than A. Otherwise, you can't have a risk of collision. Isn't it? If you draw this here somewhere and you give this another course, you will find that if the CPA has to be 0 or near 0, B is faster than A. The distance to be covered by B is much more than by A. If B is lower than A, then you can't have a risk of collision. Right? So is it clear what I am talking of? Right. Now in this case, perhaps you could alter to port. If you alter to port, he is going ahead. It's just now it looks like an overtaking situation. So B would go ahead of you, and after that you would come back. But as I told you, remember an overtaking rule. If you go on parallel courses, you have to go for a long time. But the option is there. Right? So you may get into such a situation where you can go to port, you are still passing astern of the other vessel, and thereby you are not going against the rule, because rule says avoid crossing ahead of the other vessel. So you could do this. Is it okay? I am not saying this is the best action, remember that. All that I am saying is this is one more option. You will have to weigh your pros and cons depending on the situation, depending on sea room, depending on other traffic, depending on circumstances. Right? So one more option is there. You could do this. Is it clear so far?
Yes.
Now, let us say there is one more situation, something here like this. You are heading 0, 1, 0, and you got a vessel from here. This is a tug and tow. Right? Your speed is how much? 15 knots. For all my examples, I will be sticking to this. What do you think the tug and tow speed will be? 5 knots. So let's take 5 knots. And obviously, if you have a risk of collision, that means he is closer up with respect to the point where you are likely to meet. I wouldn't want to call it collision point, but you are likely to meet. Right? So you will be much further away. Now, in this case, if you alter course to starboard, you could do that, go parallel, go behind him. Remember, tug and tow may or may not be ram. Am I right?
Yes.
Or am I right? I am right. Tug and tow may or may not be ram. If it is tug and tow plus ram, he has to display both towing as well as ram. Otherwise, on normal tug and tow, not necessarily ram. Right? So you still are obliged not to pass ahead, even if he is not ram. If he is ram, different story. But if he is not ram, you are obliged not to pass ahead. But it says, if circumstances of the case admit. Are these words there in the rule?
Yes.
If case admit, avoid passing ahead. Here is a case where circumstances do not admit. I'll tell you why. If you alter course to port, let's say by 30 degrees or 40 degrees, this increase in distance here will be much more vis-a-vis your increase in distance. If I call this x and I call this y, so y will be greater than x, yes, but for him, let us call it p here and q here, it is p plus q, which will be much more greater vis-a-vis his increase in distance is q, your increase in distance is y minus x, which is much more greater. So he will take more time to reach here, you could pass ahead of him. And why you want to do this? Sometimes the toe could be submerged in the water, and if the toe is submerged in the water, you are not very sure how far to pass his turn. Ideally, you may say about a mile is good enough. Nobody could have a toe that long under the water or whatever. I agree, I am not saying that. One more thing, this is another option available. Right? I am also trying to explain to you what words are used in the rules and how they should be interpreted. So if circumstances of the case admit means it has to be something special. Right? And that special in this case is tug and tow, who is doing practically 1/3 the speed you are doing. And if that is the case, you will be justified in going to court and going ahead saying that circumstances of this case allowed me to do this. Right? Under normal circumstances, no. Remember, under normal circumstances, you are not allowed to alter to port and pass ahead of the other vessel. There was a case in the Dover Straits when, of course, there were TSS, but one of the ships following the northeast bound TSS had to cut across, and when he started cutting across, he got into a close quarter situation with another vessel which was southwest bound. He altered rather late, and he actually altered to port, and the other vessel had to alter to starboard. The one, he was a giveaway. Instead of going to starboard and going stern of the other vessel, he went to port, passed ahead, and the other vessel also had to take action and alter to starboard. He was pulled up by the Coast Guard, by MCA as well, by Dover Coast Guard and by MCA, and there was a case against him for not following ROR. It was in the court. Mind you, there was no collision, it was a near miss situation. But he was called to the court and he was fined for it. I will not go into details too much, but he was fined. And these kind of things are not acceptable. It was very clearly put up there that he has altered course to port and passed ahead, when as per rules he is supposed to pass stern of the other vessels. So is this clear what we are talking of?
Yes, sir.
So just to recap on this, firstly head on is defined, overtaking is defined. So the remaining sector is crossing, anything from 3 degrees to 22.5 degrees above the beam. Right? And we have seen here, ideally alter to starboard, pass the stern of the other vessel. If not, and you want to pass to port or alter to port and pass ahead of the other vessel, there has to be a special circumstance. Of course, in the first case here, reduction of speed was definitely possible. And I also showed you here that at times, depending on circumstances, you may alter to port and still pass stern of the other vessel. Clear or any doubts? Any questions, anybody? That's it? Okay, thank you.